episode of Mike's podcast. Today we have I'm one of your hosts, Matt. And we have Jeremiah.
Hey y'all.
All right, and then we also
I don't know who this person is.
I know this random
That
bald
was
guy sitting in the middle. You know,
Yep, that was definitely unnecessary.
the
He's
random
a stranger
bald guy
we met on the
sitting,
street.
the bald guy that's sitting in the middle. You know, this is my older brother, not my oldest, but my older brother.
The better looking one.
Whatever. Anyway, this is him. His name is Daniel.
Hi, everybody.
He's going to be a guest today. You know, we just thought we'd talk about today's topic would be the social norms, the social what was it?
Social programming.
Social programming of, you know, things that we don't consider social. Probably people don't even consider it being socially programmed. People might just feel like it's what we supposed to do, or
I would say it's more so like how much of us do we actually think is us, and how much has society impacted us to the point of where we probably think, oh, this is just who I am, but it's like really society has kind of has ingrained in us whatever type of principles or values, and we've heard it or was told it so many times that we're like, oh, this is actually my own. These are my own values. These
do
are
you
my own
have
thoughts.
do you have an example from your own anecdotal experience? You know,
I'd say probably not, I wouldn't say my personal
trying to sound
Question
smart.
mark there. That was a
I'm
mouthful.
trying to sound.
That was a mouthful.
I wouldn't say a personal experience, but I think like a lot of people, they may think, for example, like for someone to be gentleman-like.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't to say it's bad or this isn't to say it's good. This is just saying, like, just on the surface level, somebody may say, "Oh, I'm a gentleman. I was raised to be that way. This is just who I am."
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, is that you didn't come out the womb saying, "Hey, I'm going to be a gentleman." You didn't come out the womb saying, "Oh, my first inkling is to pull chairs out for women, or the whole doors open for strangers."
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't something that was ingrained in you, like from like part of your DNA or whatnot. That it's like that's something that
It's a taught behavior.
Yeah, but you have been taught this or said this by your parents or your friends or people at your church or whatever the case is, so much so you're like, oh, that's just who I am.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That is, I think it's probably, well, from a standpoint of just being a man in general, that is something that's kind of somewhat exclusive to us. But everybody nowadays, that's not, a lot of people feel like that don't exist anymore. You know,
But being a gentleman?
yeah, you know, chivalry, you know, you ever heard of that term?
It's dead.
Chivalry's dead. And
Yeah.
You ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, a lot of people don't feel like people do that stuff, but I do feel like that's, if anything, I feel like that's probably it falling apart, or people somewhat coming to a realization of what is it that you get for that. You know, it's always an exchange. It's never just like you do a thing and then that's it. Like, it's always someone does something and then you do something in response to it.
So are you saying that interaction with people generally is transactional?
Yeah. Everything's transactional. I mean, energy is always like you're always given something. You know, a conversation goes both ways. It's not just one-sided. Or argument, same scenario, both going back and forth, exchanging information. It's not one way. But I think once you start to say, if I'm having a conversation with you and I can tell you're not paying attention or you're not engaging, I'm stop. So the transaction has stopped at some point. When you stop engaging, then it's like, oh, well, I'll just move over here, have a conversation with someone else, versus when we're having a conversation, it's, it's back and forth. And then, I mean, there's some people that talk over other people and, you can't get a word in, there's a few people I have of those in my life, And maybe I might be that for somebody else. You
I was
know,
about to say, I'm like, you're one of those.
maybe I might be that for somebody else. But
The proof is in the past podcast. But
okay,
it's proof.
you know, hey, look, I have no complaints.
I wasn't there for this interaction. I have no
Hey,
input.
you know, shots with you know, you
You've
shooting
seen the
shooting
hours
over here,
of
you know what I mean?
map footage. You know, just talking,
That's what.
rumbling and rumbling and rumbling.
Okay,
I gotta fight to get a word in.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Look, you gotta be aggressive
I
sometimes.
feel like we
you
can
know.
compare that with social engineering. I guess sometimes it's just hard to just be
Wait,
yourself.
so you're saying that
just,
society
just drowns
ingrained
you.
in him to talk over people?
Well, just drowns you sometimes, similar to like how he does when he's when he has something to say. It
You know
just
what?
drowns your voice over.
You know what? It's funny he says such things, right? I could have swore. I could have swore in like a far distant land,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
What happened?
not too long before we started recording.
Oh no,
Wasn't he one of those people that was talking over me?
no.
Hey, look, you know what happens off the camera. You know what I
No.
mean? This stays off camera. No, I mean, I don't know. I think people like for me. I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, I'm not a social person. I normally stay to myself.
He's
know?
an habitual talk over person.
Yeah. So when
You
you
said a what? Habitual?
Yes.
yeah, he
Oh,
making stuff up.
That
But
H wasn't strong. I thought you said
we-
habitual. I was like, what is that? you
but,
a habitual.
when you by yourself all the time, you know, when you talk to people,
Mm.
you know,
You
it's
just don't know
kinda-
what to do.
No, it's like, you know, you don't normally have anybody to engage. So it's kind of like I talk over people because I don't know. I was trying
You
to
just
make
don't got
something
no
up.
coof. You
I was
ain't got
trying-
no coof. You
That
know?
was I ain't have nothing for that. I mean, I just talk over people, man. I don't mean it, but you know,
It's okay.
I
Some
appreciate
people
that.
just
But you know, other social proof. I mean, other built in. I think being polite is one of those ingrained.
I'd have to agree.
You know,
Because, I mean, I'd have to say, because not all the time do you feel like being polite.
Yeah.
I mean, just being honest.
I don't think ever.
You know, if somebody cuts you off in traffic, they knew they shouldn't have did that. They knew there was going to be a response, and you clearly see in some cases there are responses caught on camera. But it's like, for you to actually literally be like, no, you know what? I know he cut me off. He ain't put on the turn signal. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm going to be the polite individual. And if I happen to drive up past them, which is the weirdest situation, is like when they cut you off or they're driving too slow behind you, they know they're not supposed to be doing these things. Everybody knows they've encountered these at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow you end up pulling up to them, and there's this awkward situation when y'all are at the stoplight. The person's like steadily looking forward, trying not to look into your window, but you're sitting there looking at them through the window, like waiting for them to make eye contact with you.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, you gotta literally be like, no, I'm gonna do the polite thing, not flick them off, not say anything. That in itself already tells you it's not natural.
Yeah. When you gotta hold back certain emotions because you're in a particular place, I mean that kind of tells you stuff, man. You know, if you walk into a place and there's people that you don't like, and you have to be like, good morning, or how you doing, and all that other stuff, and you know, like, oh man, I don't even feel like talking to this person. Like, that's, you know, but that's like, you know, you do it so much. It's like if someone doesn't do it to you, even if it's a person that you don't like, you're still kind of like, you know, you feel kind of slighted a little bit. You don't feel that way?
Well, I guess that
You're
also
staring at me like,
no, I mean, I guess that has to
Making
come
this
back
up.
to that part you were just mentioning, things being transactional.
yeah.
Because it's like, you know, even, which is it's kind of weird because you'll come in and say good morning, even though you're not having a good morning.
Yeah.
But you'll say good morning, and you're still expecting somebody to still say something back to you
Yeah.
and say good morning also, even though they're not having a good morning.
Yeah. And then it's like if they don't, I don't like, if I do it I do a few times. If I don't get, and I know you heard it, maybe I might be like, okay, they didn't hear me the first time, but the second time, I don't want to do it anyway. But the fact that I had to do it, I'm like, I'm never saying it again unless that person says it first.
Mm.
Because I don't really like doing it in the first place. I'm only now interacting on everybody's terms. So now that I know that I don't have to say it, I'm not going out my way to say it. I'm gonna just walk by you. You know, you might see me. I'm not doing it again.
But,
You ain't never did that. You ain't somebody. Hey, how you doing? And then they just walk by.
yeah.
And then you say it again, or you wait, and then you know they saw you, and they just keep. I'm not doing it.
no,
again.
how about the time you actually?
I
say
don't
it a
even
little
like
bit
doing it
louder?
to begin with.
You'd be like, I said good morning, and then they still just keep
I
walking.
don't even do that, but I just like if I said it. If I said it and you ain't hear me, because they get mad like, hey, you ain't sick of my. I said it. You ain't hear me. I'm not. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna keep doing this.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. Especially like I used to have this thing where, you know, you probably ever seen somebody sit school or something, and you be like, hey, you know, somebody you know, or an old job or something,
Yeah,
and they like they don't hear what you just said, hey. So I used to be like give a lot of energy, you know. Now I'd be like, you know, hey, you know, you be like, hey, you know, and they just be like,
sound
oh.
more excited than
And then
they
they
are.
be like, oh, hey,
Yeah, oh, it's you. You're like, what? It's you.
it's you. Oh, it's you.
It's that guy. It's that guy from school. He ain't like you.
yeah, they trying to walk a little bit faster.
Or they see you, but then they kind of act like they don't see you. You know.
I ain't gonna lie. There has been a few times where somebody who I didn't like that much, and then they have a lot of energy coming towards me. So I'm probably so I can
Yeah,
kinda
and then
get
you're on the other end. Yeah.
it.
That's
You know,
never
it's
happened.
like
No one's ever that excited to see me. But,
I mean, I can understand.
yeah.
Cause y'all not, y'all just both saying y'all not, you know, y'all hate being kind.
Nah, that's fine.
Y'all
though.
hate being kind, you know.
No, I do.
No, I don't hate being kind.
I think you hate it.
Yeah, this guy.
I think you hate it, especially today on this good Sunday.
No, he.
I
No,
just don't feel like kindness.
You know him.
Who?
It's. I told you. Remember, I think we had a podcast. I have two people that's fake in my life, right?
Who's the two people?
I saw it.
What? Two of the fakest people in my life. This is one of them.
Don't listen. Don't listen to him.
He's one.
Don't listen to him.
He actually might be the top fakest person I know
On Earth.
Like, and look, and look. I'm not being insulted when I say he's a nice guy. That's.
But he just said I wasn't a nice guy.
I said he wasn't.
But I ain't saying I'm
I
fake.
No. I said that you weren't kind.
Yeah, he said that. He's a
And
nice guy,
said, especially today.
but I always say it like this.
I'm getting blows shot at me.
Ooh, I don't like
Both sides.
Whoa,
shots.
stop.
Yeah, he said I wasn't kind. He said something.
Blow, man.
Yeah. Hey, see, they put me in the middle on purpose. This was thought out. This is premeditated.
No, it wasn't. But look, I always be like this. People that are really. I think it's a separation between being polite and being a nice person.
Daniel is a nice person.
He's a nice person, but those people that are nice, they have to be polite. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's hard because, like, for instance, if you're already a nice person, you're already being accommodating for people. Maybe you go out your way to help people out of the kindness of your heart, right? That's kind. Being nice is genuine. I think that's just part of who you are. Being polite is taught. So people like me, I'm not really a polite. I don't like being polite. I'm really not. I think I'm a nice guy, but you know, people that are polite and really kind, they have they go extreme with it. Like they'll go out of their way and they're polite and they're, you know.
Mm-hmm. Is Danny that one of those people?
Yeah, because
What?
you'll get, you know,
like how is he fake?
There's a combination. Like we'll have like me and him, or me, him, and my other brother.
I need to hear about this.
We'll be having a conversation. You know, I have an older brother, and he probably might even know this. Like we'll be talking amongst each other. It's just me, him, and my younger brother. And we're talking. We're like, yeah, blah blah blah. We're all being negative though about somebody. And then we walk in a room. And that person's there. I keep the same energy, and he's like, "No, you know, I can see where he's coming from, and I see this and that." He's like, "Hey, man, what happened?
Well, see,
weren't you just with us when we was?"
No, see,
like that.
No, see, listen.
You know, you do
no, see, that's called compromising.
That's fake.
That's
immediate
what's called
compromising.
No, and that's what?
Immediate.
Yeah, no.
That's
Because
also
if he's saying just like y'all were just in one room saying negative things, then go to the next scene.
Let's say this. I'm gonna give you an example.
Yeah.
So let's say
It's never nothing like extreme though. It'd be like
let's just
like,
say like I watched one of their podcasts, right? And let's say it was like the conversation they were having about like I think it was like Captain America or something like that. Captain America, Batman.
Yeah.
Now the thing is both of them they were both arguing their
but
points.
you was more so on my side at one point, and then we get in the room, Jeremiah's there, and he like Batman. You flipping.
No, well, actually, you like Batman, and he liked Captain America. See how this?
No,
See, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because he
now.
said he didn't.
Are we
like,
talking about a fictional podcast that we had?
no,
or-
I'm using it as an example.
You
but
should use something else.
but the
'cause
thing
you
is
messing
that-
the story up.
no, because he said he liked Batman because
I
Batman's
did
just a
say that.
regular
Yeah.
guy.
Okay.
He ain't got no
And
superpowers.
he said what?
And I didn't say anything. I
No,
don't think
at
I
first-
expressed my
No,
opinion on
I
Captain
mean he
America.
was basically trying to say, well, Captain America, he's good too. He's also a regular guy. He
Nah,
just got
he
some
didn't like
special-
Captain
some
America
super
neither. He was
strength.
just giving me a hard time.
Well, in either case, thing is this.
He doesn't watch our show.
So-
No, he did. He watched some clips.
He watched some shorts or something like that.
Well, then it would have been on the shorts then.
Okay, but it would think.
In any case,
All right, go ahead.
my part of this example is this. So the thing is like, yeah, if he's saying, well, yeah, Captain America, he's always using the shield. How come he never gets shot at? That's the true point. He never gets shot with a bullet because he's always using the shield. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, he's always got this shield, and he's always dodging these bullets with the shield, but he never gets shot at. That's a valid point. Doesn't get shot at. He never gets shot with because he keeps using the shield.
Yep.
Now, let's say Jeremiah comes in and he has another viewpoint on the entire situation. Yes, I was agreeing with the fact he never gets shot at with the shield because it's factually proven he never gets shot at when he got the shield because he's always ricocheting it off the shield and whatnot. But then he says, yeah, but then Captain America, he's also good in all these other ways. You know, he's got, super speed and stuff. And they say he has these super reflexes. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. He does got that. Matt will probably be like, wait a minute, but you were just saying that, you were agreeing with me saying he's always using the shield. Both of those can be right. And I'm just sitting there looking at the middle ground. But the thing is
that's a fake scenario.
But the thing is both people that are trying to argue their points across
he'll be
want
on,
you to agree with
be
one
on,
side or the other.
He be on
Don't
one
chop me,
side
man.
officially.
He was like, I got scared getting
I'm
shot.
on the truth side. I'm on the truth side.
But
But bringing it full circle.
I do got a 2-millisecond disclaimer to put out there that got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Okay.
I just want everybody to know the elephant in the room. It's the fact that I'm bleeding. So if you see me looking down, so with this piece of I'm just bleeding a little bit. But that's it. I just want to put it out there. If y'all see me
Yeah, I was
piece of
trying to
tissue, I
find
don't
the
know how
relevance to this.
I just want to let everybody know I'm bleeding. That's
Okay.
all. But everything's fine.
Well, thank you for
Just
that.
a little bit of bleed, but not a lot.
Bleed.
There's a little bit of bleed, but not a lot.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'm
Well,
sorry.
yeah, but bringing it back to the topic. So
I think Danny is a flip flopper. Maybe not fake, but he just flip flops.
That's fake.
He's like a fish out of water. He just flip flopping around till you
No,
get to the water.
What I'm saying is like, and like this is what I'm saying. Like you being a nice person, sometimes you don't take a stance. You kind of you kind of in the middle.
I don't think he that nice though.
I'm saying he stands in the middle a lot. You know what I mean? You gotta stand on one
Stands in
side.
the middle a lot.
see, my
He's
thing
saying
is,
like he's in the middle now. See,
Exactly.
like
That's what he- and this is what he
chose
want-
this
is
seat.
it? Yeah, he did.
He chose this seat. We ain't put him
Where
here.
you want to sit at then?
Ain't nobody
middle.
we ain't tell him to sit here. He just chose that because that's what type of person he is. You know what I'm saying? He's a
Too
middle
much
guy.
on the left or the right.
He's a middle guy. He like to be in the middle. You be like, hey, come over here. No, I see you. I want to see what he's doing over here, but I thought you was
And
on
then I
my
meet y'all
side.
in the
No,
middle.
I'm still on your side, but I'm on his side too. Now you can't be on both sides. Pick a side, boy.
You got something to say about that?
You know what I mean?
Is this like
That's
therapy
what I
for you?
mean.
no, see,
Is this therapy for you? Are we like helping you get to a place where you can just be like, oh, this is me, and maybe I can make some
Nah,
changes?
He
if
won't
necessary.
see it. He won't see it. You know what I mean? He won't see it.
well,
The fans want to know. The people want to know.
well, the thing is like with me, this is me being nice, honest, and polite.
See, look, he's doing all three.
Yeah, cause y'all see what's happening on camera,
Mm.
and y'all see how I'm
We're trying to get to
responding
know you. We're trying to understand you.
No, some things are illegal, so I can't do certain things.
Oh, talk about. All right, look. So to get back on topic, right?
Yeah, that's why
engineering.
I was trying to bring it back on topic. Like the thing
you talk
about being
violent with Jeremiah.
I mean, but at the same time, like, it's being fake could be social engineering too.
That's
Like,
what
who
I'm
taught
talking
him
about.
that? Who taught you that?
He has no choice.
I learned from the best, Jeremiah.
Who's the best?
He definitely ain't the best.
You the
I'm
best.
definitely not the best. No,
not at all.
I say what I mean and mean what I say.
But I would say like being polite in general is something that I would say it is something society ingrains in you. Because it's like, you grow up, your parents telling you not to hit girls or to stop fighting your brother and to say sorry when after y'all got in a fight. Now, you don't want to go and say sorry to your brother. Y'all was just sitting there fist fighting each other, get into the fisticuffs.
That's right.
And then she wants you to say sorry and shake his hand.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Or you gotta even in school they sitting there telling you to say sorry to somebody that you pushed off the swing or whatever, even though that person done threw sand in your eye or whatnot.
It's a taught behavior. When you have to be taught to do it over time, you do something like, my daughter, when she came in, I was like, say hello. You know what I mean? She probably ain't want to do that. She, but that's, we have to force, but that's this programming because the walk around, we have a social contract that we sign. We don't technically, we sign it when we walk out in public that we have to treat each other with some level of respect, but it got to the point where now if we don't do these things, it becomes like something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. You walk in a room, you're antisocial or, you're a mean person or whatever. I have said nothing, it's just because you don't conform to the normal thing that everybody has going on. When you go to work, it's kind of, when you go and you fill out an application for some place, it'll even be ingrained in part of your, the job duties, treat everybody a certain way.
Yeah, like their HR protocols.
Yeah, you gotta do that. Like, are you a friendly person? What type of those questionnaires they now have at every
Get it out.
at every application. Before, I remember applications used to just ask you what your age was, where your address and stuff. Now it'd be like, if Johnny stole a candy bar, he's like, hey, what would you do? Like, I'm gonna tell the truth. Like, yeah, I'm telling on Johnny. I'm like, hey, Johnny, get me one too. You know what I mean? I can't put that on there though. So, but but they're even putting it to the point where, do you really think that when you did those little questionnaires, is you do as a person hiring a person, you feel like they're filling that out? Like, yeah, I'm going to go and tell on Johnny. That's not, obviously that they got to be like, no, they're not going to do that.
So it's you're saying it's more so a taught behavior, so you can ingrain with common society.
Yeah, it's taught. Everything that's taught, like, it is to blend in, and it's because obviously if we all went out and we was like, I think Jeremiah was saying he wouldn't want a world full of bees. Now that I thought about it, I'm like, it wouldn't be that good, but it would be good. You don't have to guess about people. I think that's the thing where people are kind of deceived in a way, because we have these things that we do. When you meet people, they put their representative or their best foot forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so those aren't who you really are. It's just, that's what you've always been taught to do. You open a door, you treat, you show them the best parts of you. You try to be intelligent in conversation if that's what the person, needs, or you're trying to be funny. You might be all of those things, but not all the time. But that's how you're engaging with these people, because you're trying to get to the point where they accept you into their circle.
Inner
or
circle.
whatever. Yeah.
But see, so this is
like that.
this is
Because
where
that planet would be whack.
no,
But that's what's happening.
no,
though.
but
I'm talking about your planet.
no. See,
Oh.
A planet full of yous.
See, this is
that
also-
planet would be whack.
where I have to I see the middle ground here, and the reason why is because even though I do agree being
Told
polite,
you. What I tell you. Go ahead.
being polite is socially ingrained in people because of those the societal expectations, right? But I do also agree that if people were more honest, which is to your point, the world won't be so nice, but you would at least know what to expect. And let's give this an example. Let's say, for example, if you dating somebody.
Yeah.
So if you're dating somebody, you know, people don't think about it until after the relationship has ended. They're like, oh, he or she wasn't really a nice person, or he or she did X, Y, and Z, and that's what made me fall in love with them. And then next thing you know, they're not doing those things anymore. You have to then think, why aren't they doing those things anymore? Because when you first started, when you first met them, you were meeting, I would say, you're meeting their representative. You know, she knows that, you know, she has to look good on the first date because obviously she doesn't want to look busted because then obviously he's not going to be attracted. But at the same time, he knows he has to conduct himself in such a manner that is appealing to her, because if he's just, you know, acting any type of way, you know, that's not going to be appealing to her. So both of them are bringing their representative to the interaction. But then it's like only after they are later on in the relationship, just using this as a particular aspect of romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Down the line, eventually they get familiar with each other. Then, you know, the real them starts coming out.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, she's not wearing makeup all the time. Her hair is always in a ponytail. Next thing you know, he ain't holding doors open. He ain't pulling out chairs. And it's like, well, did he or she lie to you? Technically, yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, based off of what society says is acceptable.
I mean, they ain't lied to you.
Well, the thing is, they lied to you for the fact that, because think about when the relationship ends, that's exactly what both sides says. She lied.
Yeah, but
he lied. But the thing is, the society says this is how you're supposed to go into this interaction.
They didn't lie. They are those things. They're just not that all the time.
Jeremiah, you got anything you want to add to that?
No, I don't. I don't know. Like, I feel like, I guess I'm trying to get a feel of what y'all feel about social engineering, because to an extent,
he likes it.
Well, I mean, I just don't feel like I think it's just part of life. Like, I just feel like, you know, how you raise it can be technically social engineering. You know what I'm saying? The way your parents influence you to be as a person.
Yep.
What you watch on TV is kind of like social engineering, the music you listen to.
Exactly.
So I just don't feel like we can live in a world and not have that. I just feel like it's really what you choose. I mean, it's up to a person. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's just a whole bunch of choice as far as like opinions, thoughts. Because when I was growing up, my parents both were working, so a lot of my personality was based on like movies and shows I used to watch. I'd be like, oh, I really like that person's character. I want to be like that when I grow up or whatever. I want to be this or that. So I don't know. I just feel like you can't really escape it.
Yeah, my thought on it really is you can't. I think that because for me, I can speak for myself. Like I don't really like the social engineering part of it, but I do. Once you're aware of it, I think that's the part I think that everybody needs to have is the awareness that what that is. Because once you see it, then you know what you're getting yourself into. I think as everybody's walking around with these being delusional, these type of glasses on, where they even though they know the real part about it, they turn a blind eye to it. So, for instance, we talk about a relationship. If you go into a relationship, everybody likes the shiny thing, like the courting aspect, they call it the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
Everybody likes that. But the reality is majority of your relationship, depending on how long it is going to be a lot of trial and tribulation.
Or a lot of boring periods.
Yeah, you're gonna you see now it's even worse because of social media. I remember there's a joke with Chris Rock talking about he was married for a certain amount of time, but he was married to his wife longer than his parents were married, even though they were married longer as far as years is concerned. Because he said as soon as he walks out the door, his wife is asking him what he eat for lunch. What's he doing? Throughout the day, he's interacting. Whereas back when his parents were coming up, they didn't have phones. You left the house. That was it. You didn't hear from that person until they got back to the house. You leave the house now, you're communicating throughout the day
Text
with the
messages.
individual throughout the day.
Yeah.
So it's not really a lot you're coming back with new information that they didn't know. Like you know what you did throughout the day. So, but people still believe that you can get the same type of relationship that your parents had, but they had that separation. Sometimes that's what made it worth it because you had time to disconnect from that person. But people prefer the TV shows, the movies, the romantic part of it, the romantic part of relationships, but they don't see that in reality, most relationships, if you're a single person to this day, that means that you went through a few different relationships, depending on how old you are. You went through a few different relationships, and none of them worked if you're single right at this moment. That meant that and then you probably have single people that you see all the time. So that means that you know that it doesn't work majority of the time. It does not work. And it's not just you. It's everybody. And then when you talk to people about why it didn't work, it's a lot of the things is, it might be infidelity, but a lot of it is like they got bored or, but that's the thing because you talk and interact with that person all the time. What exactly are you expecting? The guy's going to get into some fight during the day and he couldn't get you because his phone was broken and then he got arrested and then about the time he got back to you, now he's telling you the story. That doesn't happen all the time. And then we have TV, social, we got these fake reality TVs that show you reality supposedly, but these are all scripted scenes. They're putting these people that have problems with each other in the same room and then they get in some fight and they believe that that's reality. So I'm thinking like the awareness of it. Once you're aware that these things are not real and that, yeah, of course, we're not always going to be in the honeymoon phase. We're not always going to like each other. Most of the time we're going to have disagreements and stuff like that in friendships, and that the responsibility of you putting it, anytime you connect with another individual, you're going to have a level of responsibility, especially depending on your relationship with them, like best friend or, your girlfriend, boyfriend, or your wife. They have a level of responsibility. And as a single individual is already stressful, to put another individual with the same thing, the same problems and stuff onto another person when y'all get together, it's going to be even more problems. So there's just awareness for me, I feel like.
So let me cut in here. So would you say the best formula would be, and it's going to sound bad, but
the best formula would be what?
It would be that there's a need for probably and as much as equal can possibly be, being a mixture of both, being authentically you, but a little bit of fakeness.
No, so you trying to promote your lifestyle.
That's not my lifestyle.
Being fake. I don't think you should ever be fake.
Not my lifestyle.
He's trying to say be him. Don't be him. Don't be him.
50% fake and 50% real.
That's what he's trying to say. He's 50% both.
No,
and that's why he's in between.
No, I'm asking the question.
That's what he's saying.
And the reason why I'm asking the question,
you see how his leg kicked up and everything.
See, I've got two fake people on the side of me.
What?
Yeah.
I ain't even saying nothing. Whoa.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, look at my bleeding.
No, remember that?
I'm just saying, get a shot again.
Remember when they were talking about being polite? He's doing subtle politeness of being fake.
What?
Because he's siding with this one
I'm not
here.
siding with nothing.
He don't like my personality.
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, Jeremiah is not a fan of my
but
no.
But back to what I was saying. And the reason why I'm asking the question It's because I think, and this could also be socially engineered in some aspects, I guess, depending on your upbringing, would be when you're by yourself, you're authentically you. Kind of like to Matt's perspective, where he was saying if you're not engaging with a lot of people, you have nobody that you have to kind of critique your mannerisms and how you interact with another individual because you're by yourself. You can do whatever you want to do and do whatever pleases you. But then at the same time, when you now engage with somebody else outside of yourself, a significant other, a coworker, a schoolmate, at that point, this person has different needs, different expectations, different wants, goals, ideals. So then at that point, even though, you can definitely care less about, I'd say more so how people say, oh, I don't care what anybody thinks. That can actually be true. You don't care what anybody thinks. But at the same time, in a sense, you do care what somebody thinks because your employer or your boss may have the power to give you a promotion or to keep you hired or fire you. So in a sense, you do care to some extent because you want that job. Yeah. Or
I think that's different though.
But the thing is that may entail you having to be fake because your ideals may not align with what their ideals are. But hey, I need this job.
Well, Matt's, I'm speaking for Matt in this situation.
See? So you do actually agree with Matt.
No, I'm speaking for Matt as far as some clarity. So when Matt say that, he feel like people should be authentic, he's not including work.
No, but the thing is, it's
because like you got to be
but
fake at work.
Yeah, but I'm saying the thing
he's
is,
talking about like outside of work.
But for you to be true to yourself, it's kind of like a thing of where it, depending on how you see it, you would have to. It has to be all across the board, or it can't, because then that means you are either fake or you are not fake. No. There's no I'm in between.
No,
it's like
you gotta be fair. You can maintain.
Yeah, you can. Like,
yeah, but I mean,
there's a level of like societal when you go to work. It's no getting around. You gotta go. You gotta be fake. I mean, but there's a level to it. Like if you're at work, like at work, I'm not a friendly person. I don't try to get to know the new people coming in. I don't do all of that stuff. If you've been here for a while, I know you, but I don't even really talk to them. Like, this is like a small amount of people I talk to, but I don't go around trying to be friendly with everybody. And then people already know, like, I'm not that type of person. And it's never no disrespect. I'm not like, get out my face or nothing like that. I treat everybody respectfully, but I just ain't friendly with people. I'm not going to try to act friendly. I'm not doing all that stuff. Now, my job, I'm keeping my job. I'm going to do, I got to, I'm going to go, hey, you need me to do this? I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it with a smile. I'm going to just be like, all right, you need that done? Okay, I got you. I'm going to do my job. I'm come on time. I'm going to do all the stuff I have to do to keep my job, but I'm not tap dancing for nobody. I'm not doing that.
So your thing is, it's not necessarily about being polite. It's more so about just being respectful.
Yeah, be respectful, but also do what you signed up to do. But the other stuff that people do, like, I don't, going out their way to, do certain. I mean, like I said, there's levels of niceness. If you see someone struggling, you go help that person. All right. I'm not saying don't be a nice person. If you're a nice person, be nice. You're nice is different than being polite. Being polite is only when you're noticed, in my opinion. If me and you caught eyes, I'm like, hey, how you doing? But I'm like, if that's a polite person. Nice person be like, hey, tap you on your shoulder. Hey, how you doing? You went out of your way to go make sure you greeted that person. That's being nice. A polite person, if we saw, like, hopefully he ain't see me because I ain't trying to talk to that person. Like that there's people that's like that. They're hoping that you didn't see me so I could just not have to interact with you type people. That's polite. A nice person might be like, oh, there's Jeremiah. Let me go over there and see how he's doing. Now you might be on the other hand like, I don't really mess with that guy, but he don't know that because you're being fake. Not you, but that might be him. But he might be like, oh, hey, how you doing? And he doing
no.
But I'm just saying,
Like
I'm not that person. If you see, like, I'm the guy that's like, oh man, here comes that guy. You know, I don't want to. Don't bother me.
because
Type guy.
for me, it's more so I like to kind of like watch people, and then at that point, based off of
you gotta say something else after that. You like to watch people.
no, I'm trying to get my point out.
Just stalking people.
Because my thing is no. No, that's something completely different. I would say bet. I wouldn't say watch. I'd say probably observe. Because the thing is like my mom used to always say that you should watch that actions speak louder than words.
He did.
So the thing is like if you observe people and how they actually act.
Mm-hmm.
And that means not only with their interactions with other people, but just as far as if they're by themselves. Like, you know, you can see some people they'll see a coworker or somebody walk by and they'll be like, "Oh, hi, good morning, yes, God bless." And then next thing you know, as soon as they walk out of their preview, they be like,
exactly.
"I can't stand that girl."
Exactly. That's
now,
you.
if you're
That's you right there.
If you're observing that individual at that point, then it's like, okay, well, I see that this person clearly is not what they appear to be. So at that point, obviously, you then change how you would interact with that individual. But at the same time, if there is a particular person, they keep it just cordial with everybody. Somebody speaks to them, they speak back. If they're you see them somebody needing help and they're obviously just walking past the person, they're like, "Oh, okay, let me help you get that," or "Oh, you dropped X, Y, and Z," and they hand it to you. Okay, that person there, from what you've observed,
that's a nice person.
But the thing is that it's more so what you're observing and the consistency of it. Then at that point, you're like, okay, I can actually deal with that individual.
It's the actions of the individual.
Now, for me, I'd say my thing is more so, I don't like having interactions. Well, I'll still be cordial with people, but the thing is, I don't like. For me, I don't like small talk. So my thing is, it's like, I'll sit there and,
Yeah, go ahead. No. Yes, go ahead.
You don't like small talk.
So
I'm just agreeing with you.
So my thing is like, you go and you interact with somebody, right? And you're having a conversation, and then it's like at the end of the conversation, y'all done sat there and talked about each. How's the kids doing? I've never met this person's kids before, or
how interested are you really?
Oh, how was your weekend? And it's like,
and they don't really want to know for real.
Yeah, but then at the end of
they want to be short and kind of like, "Hey, it was great. Okay, great."
Yeah, but then at the end of that conversation, you're like, what was this whole conversation even about? Like we just had a whole conversation about nothing. And it's like, I didn't learn anything.
You don't remember the kids' names.
Yeah, so it's just small talk. Or like for me, I'm not into sports. Like I can play sports, but it's like I don't.
No, you can't.
See,
go ahead.
He's not being nice.
No,
you say he's a nice guy.
I'm nice. What you want me to lie to you? You can't play sports. What sport you play?
I used to play sports with this guy.
What type of? I don't know what this guy's talking
Basketball,
about. Terrible,
football.
Trash. Go ahead, keep going.
Anyways,
what else? What other sport you play?
Don't pay attention to this guy.
He said terrible trash. Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But see,
he shoots with his leg up like this.
It's a good thing that I don't base my opinions based off of what he says.
But can I chime in? Because I want to talk about the human experience.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, and how? Yeah. In what way?
Let's hear it.
And I just feel like there's always from the beginning to the future, whatever. It's always going to be people who just like to be led.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not a lot of leaders. I mean, you read the books, everybody's not a leader.
Yeah, it's true.
And I feel like that the human experience is what kind of shapes how people allow themselves to be socially engineered. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah.
There's always going to be some that's going to just grab hold or just move whatever the culture is or whatever the mood is at that time. It's always going to be like a lot of people that's going to just flow.
Because the societal expectation of that is that everybody needs to go with the flow. They have to basically be sheep in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at people that are normally leaders, being a leader, as much as you would want to be a leader, they say, "Oh, we need somebody to be a leader. We need somebody to lead this group X, Y, and Z." But if you're looking from the outside looking in, being a leader isn't necessarily promoted in the way in which I think it should be. Because then it's like you look at a lot of leaders and they get a lot of flack for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They come under fire for a lot of things that may not even be their fault. So I think
would you consider yourself a leader?
Well, I was going to ask that. I was going to ask both of y'all that.
I wouldn't consider myself I think I can be a leader if the situation promotes itself. Like if I see somebody that's not competent in a particular situation, I think I can step up to the occasion to be that person. But it's like but for you to just and not to mention, I think if somebody has to go around saying I am a leader, I was born to be a leader, at that point that person's not a leader.
Nah, you gotta just be confident.
I think
you can't say maybe, possibly. Then that means like
no. I think because it's a thing of where first off you have to have a situation that suits you to be a leader, and that you can't be a leader in all aspects of everything. Because if you're a person that doesn't know anything about engineering,
that wasn't the case. That's not what he said. I mean, that wasn't the answer. That wasn't the question. It was do you consider yourself a leader?
Yeah, and I said
we ain't say what particular field. You just got to be like, yeah, I'm a leader. I can lead. That's it. It's the confidence levels that you.
Is that how you feel about yourself, Matt?
Yeah, I think I could be a leader.
I'm
a leader. You know what I mean?
Me too.
I don't like following
people. Don't listen to me.
I don't like following people like that.
People don't be listening. But,
it's just to be a follower. It's
You feel like Daniel is a follower?
Of course he does. Of course he does.
I don't think he believes he is, but I think that he definitely, he's a follower for sure.
Wow.
For sure. I think, and it's nothing wrong with being a follower, because in order for you to be a leader, you got to have some followers, and there's nothing wrong with being a follower.
So who is he following?
I don't know who. I don't know who he's following at the moment.
Who are you following?
But I think that
hey, I never said I was a follower. That's what this guy said.
I think look, I'm like him. We came from the same batch of
chemicals.
That bad. Yeah, basically.
Nah, someone went wrong in that process.
Got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
But I think that he's definitely a follower.
So if you can guess who he's following, who would it be?
He's not following anyone particularly. He's just like if we had, like, for instance, this is say we're all we're in a group or whatever. Do I think that people feel confident with Danny being their leader? No, I don't.
Gosh,
I think that Danny's a guy he can help facilitate. He's like a what's below the leader, like a sergeant or something like that. He's like that. Like he's not at the top. He's like, hey, could you go get this small group of 3 people and get them to move the dirt from over there to over there? And he'd be like, okay. And then he'll be over there arguing with the people trying to get him to get the dirt from over there to over there. And then one guy will come over, hey man, what y'all doing? Get that dirt over there, And that's what I was trying to tell them, boss. I was trying to get them to move the dirt, but they ain't want to. You see? That's what I'm talking about. That's him.
It's interesting.
He's that guy. Yeah. But, I would be the guy, hey, man, I need that over there. And I don't want to hear nothing about it. I need that done. And, it's going to get done.
So Danny is the dirt captain?
Well, I mean, if you want to call it the dirt captain, I would say he's I want to put him a little bit higher than that.
DC.
Now, you notice how this whole conversation somehow went from being, social engineering to the Daniel podcast. So, I don't know. Somehow I became like the most popular person on the couch. Strangely enough. But my thing is, I think that there's 3 groups of people.
3.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are followers.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are also leaders.
Yeah.
And then I think there are also lone wolves.
And
now,
where are you?
I would say I'm a lone wolf.
Okay.
Because my thing is because the followers they follow. they follow whoever's in charge, regardless. It's like they really don't seek direction on their own. Leaders, they're kind of like what people would probably say, "Oh, I'm an alpha," or something like that, and then they think that they can lead in any situation, which is impossible because.
Okay.
Let's say it has to do with engineering. You have no idea of how to do any engineering. You cannot be a leader in engineering. Sorry. Then there's for people that may think that they can be leaders in all situations. You just can't, because you would have to be able to lead people. People have to feel confident in your ability to lead them in that particular
Have you
field.
have you ever heard of a CEO?
Yeah.
All right,
CEOs.
do they have engineers underneath those CEOs?
Yes, they
So that means that there's a person above the engineer, right? Right? I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm asking you. You
I
know
can
more than
actually
me.
see Danny as a little wolf.
No,
I mean,
but
a lone wolf.
But what I'm saying,
A lone
and
wolf.
what Matt's saying is true. But the thing is like, you can tell if that CEO is not a good leader, because normally that engineering company will start to fail. Because even though the people that actually are the engineers, and yes, he is the leader of those engineers, he's telling them, hey, no, you're doing it wrong. I don't want you doing that X, Y, and Z. But I'm the engineer. I know what needs to be done. Don't do that. Do it my way.
No.
Next thing you know, the product isn't being built correctly. The company's not functioning correctly. And then next thing you know, that's when you see those CEOs. Oh, CEO A was replaced with CEO B.
But that's why you have to. That's why I'm saying that. But that CEO is the head of something that he doesn't know about.
Yeah,
he may not know how the building was built, but he gets the building built.
What I'm
he
saying,
doesn't know how to do the engineering and the architecture and the software, and
you're right.
He's still leading this whole ginormous company to success. But now there are places. I'm saying you talk about leaders.
But I never even finished my point. See, habitual cutoff person. See,
all right, go
habitual.
ahead.
Yeah, that's what I said. Habitual.
What did you say before you said habitual?
No, he said I was saying habitual. I was saying habitual.
It sounds like you don't be saying them H's strong enough.
Okay, I guess I gotta
into
the microphone.
There you go.
But my thing is that there's those three individuals, and then the alphas, like I said, they always think that they can be the leader in every situation, which they can't be. And then there are lone wolves, and those people tend to kind of go in their own direction. And in the case in which a situation may require them to step up to the plate, like let's say there's a wolf pack. Obviously, if something happens to that alpha of that wolf pack, there's no alpha to kind of replace them. Somebody has to step up and say, "Hey, I will do that." But they're not necessarily trying to be the leader of every scenario. Then it's like, I also think even with leaders, there's different categories when it comes to leaders. There's those people that go to school, and their entire thing is how to be a lead X, Y, and Z. Those people are taught. And then there's also born leaders. That's just who you are. You have that in you. So I think there's levels to those things as well. I just think that in a lot of cases, and you can just look at society in itself. Just look at like how the world is being ran. It's like there are some competent leaders, and in a lot of cases, there are some leaders that aren't competent. They don't even try and delve into what the people under them are doing so that they can get an understanding. Okay, if my engineers, or let's just say we are talking about engineers, are saying we need to go in this particular direction. Okay, I may not be a specialist in that, but I do have an understanding of, okay, this is what they do and this is how they have to do it. Okay, let me try and take their input into consideration when it comes to me telling them to do this. But in society, a lot of leaders is kind of like, no, you see the badge, you see the label on my suit or on my uniform. It says, I am your boss. So regardless of, even though you know where we're supposed to go, I'm the leader. Do opposite of what you think is the direction you should go in.
In the case of the lone wolf, I know that it's like popularized, like lone wolf. But in reality, in nature, how successful is a lone wolf? Because they're naturally pack oriented. Mm-hmm. So that means the lone wolf is just figuratively a thing. It's not really a real successful creature because they travel in packs. So I don't know about the lone wolf aspect. I think if you're, I would say an entertainer, I guess you could say those people could be lone wolves. You know, they're building something based off of their personality and all that stuff. They don't require to lead a lot of people. They might have employees working for them, but their brand is basically themselves. It's not like a whole unit of like Amazon. They have just so many things going on with that company. In order to make it run the way it needs to run, there needs to be one person making the decision. Of course, it's shareholders and stuff like that involved. But no, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about the lone wolf part. The lone wolf, what'd you say, the leader, and then you said they were
Followers.
Followers. Yeah. I don't know. What about you, Jeremiah? What are you?
Oh, definitely a leader, not a lone wolf.
Yeah.
But I think that people want to make themselves cooler by using the word lone wolf. I think it's like a cool aspect
that's
to
what
it.
I think. Yeah.
I don't follow the rules.
Yeah, no,
You know, I just go with the flow.
You try to sound cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think
I'm an animal.
I don't think being a lone wolf has anything to deal with.
I'm talking about
what
most a lot of other people would use. I feel like you're using it differently.
No, I think
Well, I'm saying the thing is like because it's like people would like to think that there's either one way or there's just two opposite ends of the spectrum.
And you're a middle person.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying.
But the thing is, or that there's either only two directions to go in. I'm saying that the human experience, it does have. It's a little bit more fluid.
Where does the lone wolf fit in that category? Because a leader, and then you got the lone wolf, and then you got the follower. So the lone wolf in between, he's over the leader? Is he like in between the follower and the leader?
A little bit of both.
Well,
he's in between.
Now
he's an in between, right?
No, but
that's what it seemed like.
No, I didn't say.
It sounds like to me.
Okay.
He's an in-betweener.
Let me try and use a different example since y'all are stuck on the lone wolf perspective or the lone wolf comment I made. Okay. Even when you start looking at certain tests, even that you've actually brought up to me, the color test, where they're talking about yellows and they're talking about reds.
And personalities you talk about?
Well, that's just one particular test. Then there's also where they have personality traits where they are talking about betas and sigmas and alphas. They don't just say, oh, there's an alpha and then there's betas. They never just say, oh, there's just yellows and there's reds. There's always a spectrum. But the way y'all are describing it is there's just those two extremes. And there are never just two extremes in anything when it comes to humans. But going back to the societal construct is that they always state, even the societal construct, if you look at it from that perspective, they always either say you have to be a follower, because then that's the best way for you to avoid all types of other issues and you don't want to ruffle feathers and cause waves, or you got to be the leader. Oh, no, you need to be the top dog and everything. They never mention anywhere along that spectrum. And then people, they always end up trying to fall into one of those two types of spectrum. So then it always ends up leading to the people that have the power and the people that just don't have the power.
But I think that everybody's always trying to shoot to be the leader. No one wants to be stagnant in just one space. I mean, there might be people that's at the bottom that loves being at the bottom. But I think that everybody wants to be
the leader
or shoot towards they're up climbing the ladder as far as that's concerned. I don't think anybody really wants to be controlled in a sense where that's basically where we're at because no one could be CEO of a company. If you work for a company, I mean, you could be a CEO if you make your own company or if you climb the ladder high enough, but that'll take some years. But everybody can't be it. So there's going to be everybody at the bottom or in the middle or trying to get as high as they can. But I don't think that necessarily means, as far as work is concerned, that means that you're not a leader or you are a leader if you're not at the top, because sometimes it's not up to you whether you're at the top or not. You might be doing everything you need to get up there and you might have all the leadership qualities, but they're just like, no, I don't like that guy or whatever it is. Because when it comes down to it, a lot of times it's who you're in front of, who do they like. It's, because when you go into these interviews, it's performative. That's another social structure that they've kind of thing. Like, you get to go to an interview, a lot of times you got to dress the part. Then it's about your resume. Then it's about how you approach it, how confident you are. When they give you these different scenarios. Oh, so what would you do if? What would be the first thing in the first 90 days? What would you do, or how would you get this thing fixed, or whatever it is? And then you are going to try to give the best answer. It may not even be what you can do, but you're going to try to give them the best answer. And before even going in, you're kind of prepping yourself for the interview. I'm going to say this. And when they ask me this question, I'm going to do this. And, and so these things that we do, and like I said, I think that it's just part of one of this programming that we're in, and we always kind of go about we're always trying to shoot to be the lead, but I think it's really just to have more levels of freedom at the end of the day. So
I agree with you with that statement. That I think nobody outrightly wants to be the follower, because being a follower isn't necessarily a good place to be. It doesn't even sound nice. It doesn't even sound nice being the follower. It's like, oh, I'm just basically following other people. It doesn't sound like I got a mind of my own. Mm-hmm. But with that being the case, is that it makes people try to strive to be leaders, but they're not leaders either. And then, like how Matt was just explaining it, it's performative. So then what happens is you get people that weren't supposed to be leaders. They really aren't leaders. In their mind, they think they are, but they really aren't. That's just not who they are. So then they're doing this performative action and crossing off these particular marks on the list of what somebody's looking to be in a leadership position. And then next thing you know, they get into that position and then they don't know how to lead. And there's a saying where they say the best person for a leadership role is the person that isn't asking for the role. Because normally if there's that person that's like, no, I need to be the CEO. No, I need to be the manager. No, I need to be the lead person of this particular group. You have to then ask, why are they asking that? Mm-hmm. What is the motivation behind that? Is it because you just want the clout? You want people to say, oh, look, I'm the CEO. I'm the CEO. And, you kind of, you straighten up your suit. I'm the CEO of this particular company. Oh, no, I'm the leader of this organization. You want the clout? Is it the money? Because the money comes normally along with those particular positions of leadership. Mm-hmm. So you have to think about what the motivation behind that is. And normally if they know that they can lead, but they're not sitting there yelling at the rooftops that they should be the leader.
You think those are the best leaders, is if they're not yelling it from the rooftops, I'm the leader?
Well, I'm saying the thing is that normally that's how most leaders are found. Like, let's say even in the military, there's officers, right? And those officers go to class. I mean, to schooling for that. Mm. Now, the thing is, that means those people are being taught to be leaders. Mm. But then you have that one guy, he started off at the low ranks. He's fought in his wars, and he's fought in his battles. He's, been in the military, rolls up the ranks just like everybody else. He is actually acquiring those leadership skills from experience. And not to mention the people that he would then end up leading also respect him. Oh, no, he was in the trenches with us. He's actually had to go out on the front lines and do everything we've done. So when he's actually leading and telling us to do this, he knows exactly what goes into doing that. So you put the two, not saying that people that want the school to be officers or whatever can't be good leaders. I'm just saying the likelihood compared to somebody that rose up the ranks to that same position, who is more likely to be a good leader? Somebody that was just taught, whereas somebody else that not only has the respect of the people he's leading, but also has actually gained those leadership qualities and expertise firsthand.
I mean, it should go that way, but it's just not part of that's probably not going to be what happens. I mean, you got the people at the bottom that will probably work harder than the people at the top. And if you got an education and you went to this Ivy League school and, You know, if you went and applied and hey, I work from the bottom to the top. I know every part of the place and da 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 da. They were like, oh, that's nice. Hey, you went to where? Oh, you went to Harvard. Oh, okay, yeah. That person's getting the job. It don't matter how hard you worked and what you know. If you got a nice resume and you got the education at this point, that's where you're going. And a lot of times on the application, it might even say must have education. It doesn't say, warehouse or trucking or wherever construction. It doesn't say must have this many. It might even say that too, but it also says bachelor, master, something. It says you have to have schooling. So at this point, it doesn't even matter if you're that guy. I mean, like I said, I agree that it should be the person that's probably been at the company, worked all the way from the bottom all the way to some point and been all over the place. And because he would, then he has the respect of the people that's been working with him this whole time. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't work that way.
So I do have a question. Yeah. I don't know if I just want to say before we wrap up with my question, I want to ask this is, do you feel like there is something, you want to admit that there is something that is socially engineered that you kind of keep for yourself, even though you may not be with it or whatever, against it? Is there something that you would honestly admit that's like, oh, this is something that I like, that is the social experience?
You're asking who, Danny?
Either one of you.
Well, I would say is sticking to your word. Because normally, societally speaking, they always taught, men should stick to their word. A man's word is his bond, type of thing. So the thing is that if he says he's going to be somewhere or he's going to, do a particular act or whatever, he's going to actually do that. And I mean, I see the reasoning why that would be something you would want to hold as a core value, because then it actually instills trust in the people that are around you. That way, if you're like, hey, I'm going to be at X, Y, and Z place at this time, it's a thing of where they're like, they look at your track record and they're like, every time he's told me he was going to do something, he was there at the time he said he was going to do it. So
you're saying that's something that you like?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I would say if there's one thing I had to say, that would probably be one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
How about you, man?
I think that I don't really like that one. But
okay.
Because I mean, that means you don't care about that person, in my opinion. Because if I knew that you might be there on time, but you might not like it, why would I keep putting you in that situation to keep asking you to do it? And that goes against what I feel is like that's part of one of the key things I think is fake. It's because if, for instance, I think I told you the story about the Bank of Daniel being closed thing, right? I asked this guy for $20 one time. He wasn't talking to me yet, but at the time I had just asked him for $20 to borrow. And he was coming back in talking to this guy. He was coming back into my house, and he was finishing up a conversation. I heard him say, like, the Bank of Daniel's closed. And then I had just asked him for $20. In my mind, I never told him until later on. I was like, when he said it, I just was like, dang, I just asked him for money. I thought he somewhat was talking to me, but I felt like I shouldn't have put him in a situation to even ask him for $20. Because that kind of put me in a mindset that I ran through all of my own assets to the point where I had to ask this guy for $20. So, and it also told me that he didn't like people asking him for money. Later on, he said, I wasn't talking about you, but I was like, but that still put me in the mindset, why would I put him in a situation where he had to bail me out? And I didn't take into consideration how it affected him in that space neither. So that changed my programming to be like, maybe I don't do that. Now, like if push comes to shove, you have no choice, or, you're in that's the last thing you would want to do is to kind of ask that person. But to say what he said, not saying, I don't think he meant it in the same way. I think that being a man of your word, you can do that, but you don't think about how being a man of your word affects that man that's being a man of his word, and how many people are asking that man to be that guy all the time. That's a lot of stress on a person to have to live up to a reputation, and then you might be, no one ever is the man of their word for you. You're always being the man of your word for everybody else. You're always showing up for, hey, I need help doing this. Hey, I need you for this. I need you for. You're always showing up and doing things. And then when you need it, there's nobody for you. And then that becomes so where he might be that person for somebody. I feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on that person, in my opinion. I don't like that part of the society. But for me, I don't think there's anything that I like about modern society, like the social programming that comes from it. Because I think if genuinely people were like, for instance, my personality, like I think Jeremiah was talking about, he don't think he would like a world full of me, but we're friends. So whoever's for me is for me. I don't really care if you don't like my personality. I think that I get people that like my personality, even though I'm not looking for it. And those people that naturally gravitate towards me, I'm okay with it. But I'm not, like I said, I don't need to be the best friend of anybody. I don't need to be the guy everybody depends on, because that's a lot of responsibility for that person. I want to be just able to show up when I need to and disappear when I don't need to. And if I want to do stuff, I can do stuff. But when you put yourself in a space where people expect something from you, it becomes a thing where you sometimes get taken advantage, especially if you're a nice person. People see, they kind of test you in certain ways. They'll ask you for something small, then they'll ask you for something a little bit bigger, and then over time they'll see how far they can push the limits of your kindness and your niceness. And I feel like, I just don't. I don't know. It's nothing I could think of. Maybe it might be something I just can't think of at the moment that's socially programmed into us, that is, oh yeah, I like that part. But
I think there's a shift in
terrible.
social engineering that's happening now, because now it's like people are getting a lot more freedoms than they did. I guess it seems like, at least in my, well, I guess because we were around the same age time frame. It just seems like a lot of things get more freer. I do like the fact that, there's like this movement with parents trying to embrace whatever their children's passions are, instead of like putting thoughts in their head, kind of like how, it has been, prior generations, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it's like, now it's like parents kind of want to see, try to see what their child's interests are more. And, so I do like that. I feel like people are can be going to the extreme with it, because as far as like wanting to be their child's friend, but that's just my opinion. Like I feel like there should always be like some structure in that, where the child knows that this is a parent, even embracing the whatever the child's natural gifts will be or could be. So I would say that for me.
I did want to expound a little bit more based off of what Matt had said about my particular thing, which was, since it is a social constructed value, I guess, obviously, since it is not something that is, I guess, instinct or something you're born with, it is something that you have to first off identify and say, hey, that is something that I would like to implement as one of my core values. And then that in itself also comes with a lot of growth pains as well, because like the Bank of Daniel situation, there were certain individuals that were asking me for money. And again, like he said, I wasn't actually speaking of him, but it was these other individuals. Because I was going through this entire process of trying to learn what that was, as far as sticking to your word and helping people that apparently are people you care about. And the thing is I was finding out that those individuals were lying about the situations they needed the money for, or they kind of were using it as a crutch, kind of like factoring me into their bills in a way. So my thing is what I had learned from that is I still hold that as a core value of mine. But my thing is you have to then know who you're doing these things for. Like with him, my thing was that I wasn't mentioning for him because he's not every week saying, hey, I need $20. Hey, I need $50. Hey, because at that point it's like, how much help do you need? It's like this shouldn't be an every week type of situation. If he has to ask me for money, it's like, wait a minute, something really bad's going on. Like, why is he asking me for money? Like, he had to have like sold all his possessions type of situation. But there are other individuals that would then every single, it's almost like clockwork. I get paid. It's like, hey, you got $50? Hey, you got $20? And then it's like, or they'll tell you that it's for X, Y, and Z, and you find out through third party, they're like going on trips and stuff. And you're like, what? That's the same day I gave him the money. Yeah. So then at that point, you learn from those situations, and now it's a thing of where I don't commit myself to anything I know I can't fulfill. So if somebody says, hey, can you do this for me? And I know I'm not going to, there's something else in my life going on that I know I'm not going to be able to fulfill that. I'll tell them, hey, I'll see what I can do. I'll get back to you on that. Yeah. And if I do commit myself to it, that's because I see that that person is worthy of me putting forth. So I still think that they're still part of the fact that you like them or that you actually deal with that person on that level, because I'm not going to just do it for anybody. Yeah. Like if it's just some guy off the street and he's like, man, I need some money. You think you can give me some? Hey, I'm going to the bank. I'll get you some money. I don't know that person like that. I'm not going to do that. But if it's somebody like Jeremiah or like Matt, depending on the situation, if it's a thing of where like I barely hear from this person asking me for something, okay, let me try and do this for that person, because I actually first off care enough for that person, enough for me to want to do it. And then two, I know that I can do it. So I'm like, okay, yes, I will do it. And I stick to that as much as I possibly can. So I would say if there are any, even though some of these values are socially constructed, if there is one of these socially constructed values that you see that you think may be important to you for whatever reason, I'd say it would be to think of what that reason is. Think of if that's going to suit your life in some type of positive way, and also the people that are close to you. And then also be very discerning of who you decide to help out or engage in life with using that particular value. Yeah. But I think... I
don't know that... I mean, it's good if we didn't have social people to deal with.
True.
Because that helps. If everybody was on the same page, that's the problem with the whole social society, like the socially constructed programming that we have, is that it involves another person. It involves other people. So even if you thought that way, like I was saying, it's better. That's why I said I think it's more being aware is different, because I think obviously we walk in the public, we got to be a certain way. But I think if you're aware of, okay, what really is like the people's intentions when they're dating, man and woman are man and woman for, a reason. There's, or all of us would be men or all of us will be women. So the main reason why men and women get together is a particular thing. Of course, there's personality and all that other stuff, but the stuff that we don't necessarily know or we don't see, I think I remember there was a rapper talking about this. I think his name was KRS-One. He was saying that, when you're about to eat, you don't notice, but your body's preparing to eat. Like your mouth starts,
watering.
Yeah. Then your stomach starts, preparing your body to eat. So it's certain things that we're not aware of that we're doing. Like when you're meeting somebody, you are, you might have intentions of certain things that you're not 100% aware of why you're interacting with that person. And so that's the thing, is like when you keep that into mindset, I think being aware is one of the bigger parts. Not saying being me 100%, but I'm just saying like being aware of the interactions that you have with people, your intentions with people, and what their intentions might be with you, and being honest. Like, are you okay with being, for instance, like there's somebody's with you for money? Are you okay with that person only being with you for money? Because that you got to know, like if hey, why would somebody want you? Obviously know it might be because you have the money, and if you're okay with that, okay, proceed. If you know that if you're a woman and you look a certain way, guys may be only with you for just know, don't try to be deluded. No, he likes me because I'm smart. No, he likes you because of the way you look. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. be real with yourself and with the person. Like, okay, I know why. And that's where I'm coming from, is that just stop being delusional and like, no, people are only interacting with me and being this way with me for a particular reason, or trying to be something for somebody else just to get to a certain point, because at that point now you're just being fake. And you know you're being fake, and eventually you can't keep up this act of being fake, and then you're eventually going to have to be yourself. And those people might not like you. But if you're 100% yourself all the time, there's no way for somebody to say you switched up or you changed or anything like that. You're 100% authentically yourself. They just got to accept you for you. And those people that don't like you, they weren't going to like you anyway. So don't make no sense. They ain't going to like you. Like, if I'm not me and you don't like my personality, and then like eventually I'm gonna be myself, and then what?
They only like what they.
Yeah,
they
you
thought
only
that
like
you
me because
were.
I was giving you stuff, or because I was coming over and I was helping you move at that time, or I did this thing for. Like, no, if you gonna like me, you gonna like me for this. If you don't like it, then you keep it moving. I ain't wasting my time. If you like, don't, I'm not asking anybody else to waste their time trying to mess with me, knowing that I think like this. And so for me, that's what I'm saying. It's don't be mean to people, but be honest with yourself and to those other people about. I mean, I haven't always been like that neither. So, but I think it's like being aware. Don't try to deceive somebody into being someone just to get something from them, in a sense, if that makes sense.
So what we learned from today is be honest with yourself and be honest with other people. But we're gonna wrap up there. If you do,
thanks for coming.
Oh,
Thanks.
Yeah,
it's the Danny podcast now.
Thank you for showing your lone wolf, opinions. And,
I try.
Getting beat up. Normally it's me getting beat up, so I'm glad.
I can see the pleasure on your face, being able to be the one doing some of the beating.
Ew. But
Yeah, put a pause in there somewhere.
But yeah, thanks for coming.
Yes, appreciate you. I do like having Daniel on. Because you get to see. He used to actually be the bully back when I was younger. So
and still is sometimes.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, it's nice having you on. You're seeing your perspective. And it was just good having a conversation with you. You're always invited.
Yeah.
Don't be a stranger.
Yeah, I would love some more of this interaction.
This don't sound like he's genuine. See, he's doing that thing again.
That lone wolf stuff.
He's doing that lone wolf stuff. He said, you know what I mean?
But in either case.
But
Thanks for tuning in.